If you imagine a trafficking situation and then you come into a world with a child, all you'd want to do is protect that child. You just want to cover them in bubble wrap everywhere. My name's Holly Jones. I'm currently a PhD research fellow at the Rights Lab in Nottingham. And I used to work for Causeway, so I worked on the support provision in the safe houses, doing accommodation and outreach, and looked after hundreds of survivors while they're in our care. So the intergenerational trauma that children face because of the exploitation that either them themselves have been in with the parents or the parents have faced and then they are now the children of, is significant and seen and really not very understood throughout the services. So my research is looking at the support needs of children of modern slavery survivors. It was really inspired by my work at Causeway, and while I was there I noticed a gap in kind of what their unique needs were. There's not a lot of research in it, and not a lot of people know what their unique support needs are, but my research is really trying to understand what their actual support needs are, how they interact with services around them, and whether the support providers that they actually have are the correct ones and are what they need, and kind of what we can do as a service, as a community, and kind of as a government nationally to help those children that are within the care at the minute. I think that organisations assume that kind of the needs that sit over here with independent children must be the same for these children because they're both children, and some have gone through it and some haven't, but if you haven't gone through modern slavery then you can't have as many needs. I think there's a real lack of understanding for the actual uniqueness of their needs because of the intergenerational trauma that we've spoken about. The impact that modern slavery has on a secondary level, not just an initial one, but the way the system is designed, the rights are attached to the adult. So you'd get one caseworker that was there to support the parent, and the assumption is that the parent can support the child. The child wouldn't have their own specific caseworker. There wouldn't be specific support plans in place only for the child. It would just be the assumption that the parent would receive the support that they need, and that would then help the child. Through my own experience, around 40 to 50% of the women in service either come into service with a child or have a child while in service. So it's a significant number, it's not a small population. Being a parent and that journey is hard enough on its own, let alone with the kind of trauma that you face because of modern slavery. So the actual impact is kind of inevitable. There's no way that it won't impact, and a lot of the intergenerational trauma impact that we'll speak about isn't the fault of the parent. They're always trying their best. Every parent's trying their best. Some of the trauma that I've witnessed myself, and there's a lot of examples of, is developmental delays, really big one in children. You've got 2, 3, 4-year-olds that don't speak. Speech is a really big one. You get kind of examples of behavioural disorders. So a lot of parents have mentioned how they struggle with the boundaries of healthy boundary setting with children. So they struggle with the shouting and the not shouting, the agitation, the calmness and then the agitation. There's a lot of different kind of behavioural issues that go into it. ADHD and autism have been noted in recent research as quite prevalent in areas of modern slavery in children. A big area that was studied by the Hestia report is kind of the recognition that children are prematurely responsible. So there's examples of children that speak better English than the parents, so they go to all the meetings that they really shouldn't be in for the age that they are. Some children as young as 6, in order to translate for the parents. You've got children trying to take on more adult responsibilities because they don't feel like their parents are able to because of the trauma that they've faced or the mental health issues that they're currently going through or their inability to kind of be the parent. And I think alongside that comes the hypervigilance of children. I mean, there's a lot of children that have spoken about how they feel that they're on eggshells a lot of the time and they're waiting. They want to manage their parents' emotions, really. If you imagine a trafficking situation and then you come into a world with a child, all you'd want to do is protect that child. You just want to cover them in bubble wrap everywhere. But what that leads to is children that don't play out with their friends. They don't have that natural kind of socialisation with other children. They're kind of kept in a lot of the time. Safe houses, you're not allowed to bring guests around, so there's the isolation of the child, and I think that adds to so much developmental issues within children. So what churches could do, for me, the most important thing would be offer support groups. I think a really key area of support is, as I've spoken about before, the external community support that can be given. And something that is lacking is community groups, or the awareness of community groups that allow children. Community plays a bigger role than anyone actually suspects. The actual ability for survivors and their children to feel part of the community and have positive connections with the community, regardless of which service they're in or if they're moved, is vital. And it plays such an important role to their own autonomy and their empowerment to have that kind of stable relationship with external community members, not people or caseworkers within the organisations that they're in, is vital. I think just being kind, calm and consistent is something that might seem really simple to you, but it's not something that they've experienced, maybe for a long time. A really big one is offering children the chance to be creative and socialise, not only with other children but with adults as well, just creating that environment for them to just explore and socialise outside the realms of the place that they're living. And I think if churches could offer those child-friendly spaces to modern slavery survivors and allow them to not only interact with other parents but their children to interact creatively, for them to be able to socialise with other children, for them to have that environment where they can explore and experiment on their own. I've seen firsthand the effect, the positive effects that that can have. So it would be amazing if churches could offer those kind of groups to parents in those situations. And I think more so than not just offering that stability to a family. The weekly commitment that they can go there, see the same people, and there's this kind, calm and consistent, stable environment for them to go through will just change their lives.